doesn't automatically mean better.
The bigger one prefers the boobs, the smaller the brain.
I don't know, I think... wait, what do you guys in the chat think about big boobs? Welcome to the stream, everyone.
Anything bigger than a thumb and you're gonna sprain your wrist.
Anything that's bigger than your head is not worth it.
But what about bigger than your body, asked Roboot?
I mean, at
There's
that
a
point, it's
line.
just fetish. Like,
Yeah.
That's just inflation.
yeah.
Robot just likes inflation. Simple as.
I just remember,
Let's
like,
not put me on
seeing
blast,
this
it's only in the
thing that
stream.
made me, like... I just remember seeing this thing that made me laugh my ass off.
Let's do this later.
Because... Oh, okay.
Not
This
talking about
family-
putting me on
This
blast by
family-friendly
Kelly.
stream was brought to you by...
I just remember seeing this, like, picture that, like, it was just someone with, like, boobs, like, the size of the entire picture, and then, like, their body was, like, an inch of the drawing, and I'm like, okay, there's a point to stop!
Were you on that side of DeviantArt again?
Actually, it was the porn side of 4chan.
Oh, yeah?
Where's the first problem? It was 4chan!
Oh, that was your
I mean,
first
there's
mistake.
a lot of good stuff on 4chan. A lot of shit stuff, too.
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
Are you saying there's bad things on 4chan?
No, I'm
Yeah.
Stay out of being Pole and you'll be fine, honestly.
You can be a
Yeah, being polar the problem.
4chan.
Apologies, I'm adjusting my settings really quickly.
Wojak?
Did you know that I hate my college course?
Yes, we all know that. Astrology.
Oh, I should probably get water. I'll be back.
It's astronomy, actually, Crimson.
I'll still make that joke.
Astrology is the mystic one.
Yeah, astrology is, we were talking, there was a moment in the class where we had to research stuff related to astronomy and then make a post about it, and then we switched back to astrology. Or not. Yeah, astronomy. What was it again? Fuck. Astronomy? Damn.
Astronomy is the real science one.
Okay, the real science one, not the pseudo weird whatever the fuck you call it that's not true based on science. We're doing
Astrology is the funny, wacky one with the horoscopes and the sky animals.
I know why, but why do their names have to be so fucking close in like pronunciation a bit?
Because Greeks loved them both.
Because Grecian root words. Wait, is it Grecian?
I don't fucking know.
I know it's Greek.
All I know, it's the bane of my fucking existence.
More like Greece.
Hey, I was right. They are Greek-based words.
Did you know Greece is the
Look
word?
like my ass.
You know that Greece is the horniest country on the planet?
Was.
I mean, like,
I'm not sure if they have the same culture as it. Oh, anyway.
Oh yeah. So before we
I didn't
start,
know Rindy moved.
I'm back.
before we start, there is a particular policy that's going to be invoked later on in this chapter that we haven't actually talked about at length until just now. That is what we've affectionately called the "Please everybody shut the fuck up" policy. There is a very particular sequence that's going to be coming up that I believe requires at least some level of professionalism to get through it. So what I'm going to ask is that everybody stays muted during the duration of it, and preferably we keep a nice even pace. So if you are someone who takes notes actively during the reading live, please don't do it after. Please do it afterwards.
No, this will only be for certain scenes.
Only for certain scenes.
Well, are you sure? Are you certain it's going to be happening in this session?
No, not in this session.
Oh,
I'm saying
hell no.
later on, like way off. Also,
It will happen.
I'm also going to institute that if you want to have your reactions be seen on stream outside of just like the chat or whatever, please do it in the actual Twitch chat for the people in the Golden Theater at the moment. So that way you can see the funnies live as they're scrolling by and whatnot.
yes, we appreciate people talking in chat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're in the Discord call.
Yeah. And I also say this because you will be hard muted during these scenes. Only the people who have to talk
Yes.
will be talking.
People, that includes some actors. If you are not voicing anyone in that scene, you will be either server muted or / whatever. If
Like, there's straight up just gonna be a scene where me and Con are gonna be talking for an hour straight and nobody else.
yeah.
Thank you for the heads up on that then, guys.
Like, I'm probably gonna message you before that happens, Con, to see if you can like put some sort of notification in your house to be like, hey, listen, I need to be uninterrupted for like an hour straight.
I will also like to know, what is it? I'm trying to think. What was it gonna? I fucking lost it. Never mind. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna add on something, to let people know, and then I completely forgot it. Fuck.
It was never that important.
At any rate, and now that I got that out of the way, Con, whenever you're ready to go.
All right. Right as you say that, my youngest sister pops her head into my door, and I have to point at my computer, and she has to leave. I feel bad for doing that. God damn it.
That's fine. Oh.
3 months to live. It was last year when you said that, right, Dr. Nanjo?
I only spoke of what I could comprehensively determine from his physical condition at the time. As a result, this year too, just so happens.
So even though it's doubtful whether Dad'll last until the end of the year, he's still totally focused on his occult research.
Wait, excuse me, but actually I would like to ask, what happened last session? Because I completely forgot.
Notes are in the notes section. I've got notes on them.
Angie and Amakusa and Okinogu.
Right.
By Amakusa, you mean Dante.
Yeah.
Have we actually seen the island yet? I forget.
We're on the island right now.
Oh yeah,
We're looking at it.
I forgot how much time we already spent on it.
Oh, this is like
we just got here.
This is like the first.
We're in media res
on the island. Yeah.
All right.
And you still say he has only 3 months left, Doctor.
Like I said, Kenzo-sans.
Shouldn't you be happy that our respected father is still in high spirits? Out of a sense of parental respect, each one of you is so eager to greet Father. I can see how upset you are that he is unwilling to meet with you.
Considering that everyone has started aiming for the inheritance while the sun is still in the sky, I can understand why Father wouldn't want to see you.
You've got it wrong, Natsuhine-san. We just,
Dad isn't immortal and he'll die someday. We aren't telling him to die, we're just saying that he will die, sooner or later. We're just talking about how to prepare for that.
And that is precisely what is so disrespectful!
Stop it. It'll make your headache worse.
Kraus told Natsuhi, who had risen from her chair in agitation, to sit down. Trying to smooth over the atmosphere, which had suddenly become filled with suspicion, Hideyoshi put on a forced smile and motioned for everyone to calm down.
Natsui-san, don't misunderstand. People say that you should always clean up after yourself, right? We're just talking about seeing him off. We're discussing this so we can see Father off neatly when he takes off on the journey he's eventually gonna make.
Huh. That's just like you, Hideyoshi-san. Even though you're saying the same thing, you make it sound so intellectual.
Yes, that's right. Unlike you, Nissan.
Quit it. We aren't going in it. We aren't getting anywhere. So, like we're saying, Anarchy, forget all this about the inheritance. I don't even care if Dad hits us. To make a long story short, we want to meet Dad directly and say hello. Even if he says he doesn't want to. If he's locked up in his study, we don't care if we have to borrow a key from Genji-san. Right, Rosa?
Oh, well, it's not like we're forcing you. It's just, we haven't said hello to Father in such a long time. If his remaining life is really as short, then there's a chance we might never be able to see him again. Today might be our final opportunity to exchange words with Father. That's right, just as Rosa says. If he only has 3 months left, it wouldn't be odd for him to pass away any time now, right? Are you saying that despite that, we don't even have the right to talk with him one last time? Regardless of the circumstances, isn't that just a bit too much? If greeting Father were truly what you wish to do, I'm sure he'd happily allow you to meet with him. But Father has already heard about the disrespectful topic you hope to raise. No one would want to meet with you under those circumstances. The reason you cannot meet with Father is because of your own doing and nothing else, is it not?
Exactly. You shouldn't have to rack your brains to understand why Father doesn't wish to see our faces, right? Father has seen through all of your tight financial situations.
What are you talking about? I don't even have a clue what you're going on about, Miss-san.
Did you really think I didn't know about the state you're in?
Avanos realized that he had seen through their current lack of funds. And alternating between bluffing and returning to the point at hand and arguing back. They repeatedly pressed Kraus to let them meet with Kinzo. The sweet smell of the black tea Rosa had gone out of her way to buy had then been completely wasted. The only thing she was glad about now was that the children weren't here for this. Like they'd gone to play at the beach right after lunch had been their only salvation. Ava made as though to tackle Kraus, and Hideyoshi and Kyrie cut in between them, trying to calm both sides. Then Kyrie took a deep breath and spoke.
I'm sorry, Kraus-Nissan. I know I'm an outsider, but I wonder if you'd let me say one thing. I have a proposition.
What is it, Kyrie-san?
First, and this includes my husband as well. For many years, we have belittled the efforts you've made by living with Father and taking care of him. Isn't that right?
That's, well... We've got it easy since we get to go outside, but Aniki's been babysitting Dad for decades now. And that must have been a lot of work. I'll accept that. But what's your point, Kyrie?
We must acknowledge that Kraus Nissan is father's caretaker. Isn't that right? We've always feared father, and have pushed the task of caring for him onto Kraus Nissan. Everyone should acknowledge his efforts. Isn't that right? Eva Nissan? And so what? Nissan is father's caretaker. Don't decide things on your own, outsider.
Hey, now calm down. Kyrie-san, what are you talking about?
Kyrie, please continue.
We should be more grateful towards Kraus Nissan and Natsuhine-san. We should thank them for always taking care of father. It's our lack of gratitude that's to blame for these wasteful conflicts we keep having. Isn't that right, Krasny-san?
I'm surprised. I didn't think you, Kyrie-san, would be able to understand our efforts. Which even my true siblings have not stopped to consider.
It's a natural duty for the successor of the Yoshiramiya family headship.
That's right. It's your responsibility as the successor to the headship, isn't it? It's because you take care of father that we must acknowledge you as the successor.
Hey! Why are you bringing this up all by yourself? You're just an outsider.
Wait, Aniki. That's right. It's just like Kyrie says. Because you take care of Dad, you're the successor, Aniki. It's just like you said.
Oh.
Rosa noticed, and then Ava did. Ava's barking demeanor towards Kyrie for advancing the discussion on her own disappeared in a flash, and she instead stared at Kraus and Natsuhi. Natsuhi couldn't understand the sudden change and was slightly flustered.
Kraus Nissan, if you'll accept just a few conditions, we won't ask you to let us meet father again until he dies. Of course, we won't demand to be present at his deathbed. We wouldn't even mind being absent at the funeral.
Oh. Where are you going with this? But I may as well listen for now. Let's hear your terms.
First, the term successor to the headship refers to the caretaker of the current head, Ushiromiya Kinzo.
And then?
Second, the duty of the caretaker is to look after Ushiromiya Kinzo for the rest of his life. To make things simple, the caretaker's job is to care for him until his final moments. You were prepared to do that from the beginning, Krasny-san, so that won't cause any problems.
Naturally. I have no objections to either of those terms. I'm already carrying them out.
Third, on the off chance that the caretaker is neglectful in his responsibilities of supervision, he shall be deprived of his rights as a caretaker.
With that sentence, all slack disappeared from Krause's face. Natsuhi alone was still having trouble figuring out what it meant.
Oh. And just what are these responsibilities of supervision that the caretaker bears?
It means supervision so that Father can live the rest of his life in the best possible health. I'll be more detailed than that. In the case the father dies anything other than a natural death, the caretaker will be deprived of his rights as caretaker, and his status as successor to the headship will be lost. If that happens, the next highest in rank, Eva Nesa, will be selected as the successor.
What did you say? How can you shamelessly speak such nonsense?
Ha ho! My, the caretaker certainly has a heavy responsibility. However, people can die in many ways. For example, senile old people sometimes die when food gets caught in their throats. Normally, this is called death by old age in its broadest sense. But with your argument, that becomes a death by accident, and I bear the responsibility of supervision. This is unjustly disadvantageous to me.
I have no intention of forcing such an unfair argument on you. I'm referring to the kind of thing that the caretaker could have prevented beforehand by taking good care of and keeping his eyes on Father. It may be the caretaker's job to carry food to Father's mouth, but whether he swallows it or not is clearly outside the caretaker's responsibility. I would have absolutely no problems with the example you raised, Krasny-san.
Oh. So, what kind of case are you referring to that he might cause the caretaker to be blamed for making such a blunder?
For example, if he disappeared.
Oh.
It seems that right now, Father is in firm control of himself. But dementia might begin to set in. He might wander around when you aren't looking and get into some kind of accident. Or he might get lost in the forest and go missing. Wouldn't this type of case clearly be the responsibility of the caretaker?
Father's mind is perfectly healthy. There is no need to bring up dementia.
One day, suddenly, I saw Father go into the forest. I chased after him, but I couldn't find him. I called the police and searched, but after being unable to find him, after 7 whole years, I had him legally declared dead. My point is that we won't accept it if you use a story like that to treat him as dead.
One.
When Father passes away, an autopsy will be carried out. And we will confirm that he died of old age in the most general meaning, within the bounds of common sense. A death of any other cause will be held as the caretaker's responsibility. See? These are all things you could have toiled away at all this time, Krasny-san. These aren't strange conditions or anything of the sort, right?
You are mocking us disgracefully so. I find it hard to imagine why my husband must be coerced into a rule that disgraces him in this way.
Actually, I've been suspecting it since last year. No, everyone here probably suspects it as well.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh, that was weird.
Oh, I thought that was my headphones doing that.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
that's like your microphone is like.
Static.
Here, wait. Let me say it.
Out.
There's just a weird static that just happened.
Okay, hang on a second.
Try unplugging and replugging the mic. It might just be like a loose thing, or not. Maybe it jacked out a little.
for like a loose wire.
Oh, I mean, just. No.
Oh no. No, it got worse.
That seemed to make it worse.
Worse?
Way worse. Like, I can barely hear you.
Did something happen to your mic recently? At all? Or anything you can think of? Like a dog got to it, maybe?
No, it's just been sitting on my desk.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Is it near like a magnet or anything?
Hold on.
If I may tell a funny thing, the sound that Khan's microphone is replicating sounds like a sound effect that was in the NES or / Game Boy.
Well, what the hell was that be?
Okay, am I good now?
No.
No, your mic sounds like Atari 2600 sound effects.
Jesus Christ.
It's like a successful battle with Sinistar.
Well, yeah, let me say actually what's been happening. Kind of, like, there has been, like, throughout the stream, just tiny bits of static, but usually it fixes itself. Right now it's kind of prolonged.
By jiggling around the microphone.
It could also be, it might be like a computer thing, like maybe a program is interfering with it. I remember, like, your mic was still kind of wonk, like, whenever you were going through the tech issues with the disk usage stuff. And then whenever you fixed the disk usage stuff, your mic got dramatically better. So it could be a program.
Okay, is it working now?
No.
Yeah, wait, actually try talking for a while. Just start saying sentences and see if it evens out.
Blee blah blue blah blah blee blah. How's that?
No, it's actually getting worse now.
Literally getting worse. I don't get this.
Why? I thought it was on a roll here.
I think your microphone's just dying, Khan. I'm gonna be honest.
It could just be that it's like kind of at the end of its life. Might need to get a new one.
Didn't she just get a new one like a couple months ago, though?
No? I mean, it's like early on Higurashi she got this one.
This is the one that I use. I put it in Live General.
How much is it?
That is a Rock Band 4 USB.
It works.
How much is it?
$26.
Can you hear me? Is it good now?
Yeah.
It is much better.
Say something again?
Here, just start saying a full sentence. Say a full sentence. Say like 2 sentences.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube. Men.
Yeah, yep, it's good.
Oh wow, you fixed it.
You are big.
It might
Inflatable tube man.
It might static out a bit later, but usually it was evening out relatively.
Okay,
It could have just been a freak accident.
Yeah, mic fixed.
You're good.
Bam!
You are fixed.
What do you do?
I plugged it in and turned it back out and just jiggled the thing around.
Oh, it might have just
Yeah,
it might just be a loose wire.
Because I know, like, mics will actually make that that exact noise when, like, the wire's loose.
So I would like to say, Kaneko, if there is a wire loose, this might happen in the future, so you might want to consider saving for a new one. Unless, I mean, I know you don't want us to help you, but I would also be fine with pitching in to help.
That would be nice, and I would greatly appreciate that. And I don't know why there's a capybara with a mikan on its head.
Don't
I
worry
believe
about
they're
that.
actually Yuzus.
But yeah,
They are in
I'll,
fact capybara. Oh!
Yeah, I've actually.
You okay there?
Sorry, the length of the URL fucking slayed me. Christ, Amazon.
Jesus.
I don't know why, but I feel like that if there was like an edit, I just felt like Joshy literally just turned to dust before my eyes as he made that noise.
Mr. Orange, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, we can figure out my
That's
stuff
the noise
after
that
the
happens
stream.
if he's defeated in battle.
We can figure out.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's fine. We can figure out Mike stuff after the stream.
Moving on.
Sorry, bouncing back and forth between these voices.
I don't know why that's not that funny.
Actually, I've been suspecting it since last year. Now, everyone here probably suspects it as well. Avene-san and Hideyoshi-ni-san, Rudolph-san and Rosa-san too. Everyone had suspected it the whole time, but it was so frightening to imagine that no one actually said it.
I see. So this is what you're trying to say? That Father's already dead and that I've been hiding it. Oh.
Ah, that's right. That's one of the theories I thought of as a key to solve the last mystery in the previous game.
You mean the very last bit? The mystery of who killed Dr. Nanjo.
That's right. The witch definitely said a lot in red. She mentioned the names of all 18 people and announced whether they were alive or dead. And then she claimed that there was no human beside them. With this theory, I can weave my way through that gap.
I see. So this is one of the answers that doesn't cause those two to contradict. Makes sense.
See what I'm saying? You catch on pretty quick.
Yes.
It's nice that I don't have to explain.
No 19th person exists on this island. And yet this trick lets us mix in an unknown new character. In other words, the names of all 18 people don't necessarily correspond to the 18 people on the island.
That's it! The witch mentioned the names of 18 people one after another. Announced whether they were alive or dead. On top of that, she announced that there was no human other than the 18. There was a single illusion in there. It's never guaranteed that the 18 names equals the 18 people on this island. And she named off all 18 people and announced who was alive and who was dead. She had the name of Culprit X, that mixed in someone who wasn't on this island. By doing that, even though the culprit was on the island, she was able to leave him out of the list of living or dead people. The person who was mixed in wasn't actually on the island, so he didn't count towards the total number of people on this island. By this, even though the culprit counted towards the total of 18 people on the island, it's possible for his name to not be listed. The two statements in red are completely independent, so this theory creates no contradictions.
If someone's name was used to hide the existence of the culprit, that name must satisfy several conditions. First of all, even though this person isn't on the island, they've got to be someone we think is on this island. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to trick us. And it's best if this person happens to be dead. No alibi is more perfect than death. After all, at that point, the mystery was based on the fact that the crime was impossible for all 18 people. Is it something like that?
Yeah, that's it. And that person was Grandfather. Right now, there's only one thing Kirie-san can be about to say. That Grandfather was locked up in his study, saying that he didn't want to meet anyone. There's a possibility that he's actually dead already. And Uncle Kraus is lying when he claims that Grandfather's alive. That's right. Grandfather was closed up in his room the whole time, and no one saw his face. Maybe he was already dead. Uncle Kraus and the others were conspiring together, trying to trick everyone.
If Kinzo dies, the distribution of the inheritance occurs. However, if Kinzo doesn't die... No. If he dies, but it isn't announced, the distribution of the inheritance won't take place.
In other words, Uncle Kraus could have all of Grandfather's wealth to himself. That's right. He's got more than enough motive. Maybe a 19th Person X really doesn't exist on this island. But a Person X existed. And that person was the 18th person! In other words, there were originally 17 people on this island, not 18. Then an unknown Person X snuck in and committed the crime. How's that, Beato? Come out! I have to solve the final, biggest mystery from last time! As Badler claimed that forcefully, the crisp sound of clapping came out of nowhere and then the surroundings turned bright, becoming the usual witch's tea room.
Bravo! I wish I could deny that someone as incompetent as you has finally gotten a feel for it. But somehow or another, you've managed to come up with a single answer. Even a lump of concrete can stop thinking. So, you've now finally evolved into a being with intelligence. Bravo! You might say you've finally taken a step forward from the crying creature you were before, just licking my shoes and grinding your teeth.
I can't believe that stupid wordplay threw me for so many loops last time. My lameness pisses even me off! Alright, Beato. Repeat it! You can answer the 18 people on this island, included Grandfather. Just try and do it! Yeah, you can't, because he was already dead. This is the end of your deception!
Well, now what have we here? Shall I slice that in two with the red truth? No, it might also be good to fall back for now and let you get all excited. I'm going to push you off a cliff anyway. It would be more interesting to lure you to a higher place first. So we can splash.
As Beato sneered obnoxiously, she looked like she was searching for an expression that would tick me off even more. As though she was saying that the answer I'd reached was impossibly ridiculous. Compared to me, annoyed as I was with the witch's attitude, Gretel had a blanket and composed expression on her face. Almost as though she'd expected the witch to act that way.
I see. Just like how Battler has learned and grown, so has the witch.
What's wrong, Beato? Don't act so tough! I asked you if you can repeat it! Answer!
Stop it, Battler. The witch won't answer so easily. She won't do it until she thinks it'll benefit her.
What? What do you mean?
You've been toyed with by this red truth in the games up until now, so the witch has used it many times. But now the situation is different. They're trying to draw the red truth out of her and are instead using it as a war weapon. In this situation, there's no way the witch will keep firing off the red without reason. Right.
Gretel, or whoever you are. It seems your mind is quite sharp, unlike Battler's. What a fearsome enemy I welcomed in. That is correct. When Battler hopes I'll use the red truth, do I have any responsibility to do so? No. I don't even have a crumb from that croissant you ate this morning's worth of responsibility to please you!
You bastard!
Yes, that's the phase. Give it to Mama. I started playing with that red truth just because I wanted to see that face. That face right there. You see? That face? I have no reason to play around with it if it won't give me a chance to see you look like that.
You just don't like losing, right? Just saying whatever you can to tick me off, because you can't answer my demand won't work.
Don't be so full of yourself. An answer like that could be cut to pieces without any effort. But I won't go out of my way to speak in red. I won't say it because that's what you're asking me to do. Do you know why?
You just said it. You want to push him off in the sweetest spot. This ill-natured witch is saying she won't use the red anymore if that's what you want. In other words, you won't go along with this game of telling her to repeat things anymore.
Exactly. Unlike that, where everything goes quickly with this girl, no need for explanation. She clearly got the brains in the family. I will say what I please with the red truth at the time that I desire.
That's it. Basically, it's the witch's right to use the red truth as she pleases. She doesn't have to use it at whatever time the human side desires. But even that depends on the situation.
The situation? What do you mean?
The witch has no responsibility to respond when you tell her to repeat something. But it does become a responsibility if and only if your claim can destroy the witch theory. After all, in this trial court without a judge, that which is not refuted becomes the truth. Just like how the witch theory, made by the witch, will instantly become truth if you collapse and stop thinking.
Man. Since she doesn't have a counter-argument for my guess, I mean, that's right. So the culprit is the mysterious 18th Person X, and grandfather is already dead?
At least until the witch argues back. Truth always loses to new truths farther in the future. The tricky part is that even the timing of the counter-argument is up to the witch. In other words, maybe your reasoning just now is correct. Or maybe the witch is refraining from arguing back even though you're wrong. Or the witch may be ignoring it because it doesn't shake the basis of the witch theory in the first place. But either way, we can't tell the difference at the current time. Is that more or less it?
Damn you, Lady Berncastel, for throwing in such a troublesome piece. Ugh. Thanks to that, I'm losing all my lines.
The witch has learned that she can respond to your demands to repeat phrases at a later time. Maybe you could even call it a delayed move.
She's messing with me. Even if I announce some mistaken reasoning, there's a possibility that Beto will intentionally let me flounder about without denying that guess. At the very end, when I propose an even more massive line of reasoning, she can cut it off at the base. And spin everything around, a single piece of reasoning becomes a bridge to the next piece. By demanding that she repeat lines, I've been able to strengthen my position and advance bit by bit. Since that bastard Beto learned this strange delay tactic, I can no longer confirm nor deny my reasoning. This is like finally finding a staff that'll let me search around in the darkness, only to lose it right away. I'm just stuck now, alright?
Hey, Battler. If you make a despairing face like that, I won't be able to stop drooling, you see. From the beginning, that staff was nothing more than something I gave you because you were so worthless. All this means is that you can finally challenge me without a handicap, right? But that alone doesn't change the fact that demanding that you repeat things is one of Battler's ways to fight back. As I said already, as long as it's something that fatal that'll destroy her witch theory, the witch is obligated to argue back, and therefore to speak with the red truth. While the timing of that counter-argument is up to the witch, it must be performed eventually. Isn't that right? That may be so. If I cannot deny the tricks done by humans theory Battler lays out by the time the game ends, Battler will use that as a reason to try to deny me, and it will be possible for him to proclaim his victory. So, should we view this as a restriction on the witch's side? That the trick theory laid out by the human side, in other words, what he tells you to repeat must be countered during the game. During the episode? That is so. Battler's goal is to show that he can explain the entire pleasant game I have laid out on this island with humans and deny me. If Battler succeeds in that game at any time, he will become the victor of this game. Let me confirm the rules. Should we view the same game ends as referring to 2400 on October 5th, 1986, going by the time of the Rekenjima in the game? I have no problems with that. At the time the game ends, the human side must state a theory using tricks for all of the mysteries. And if the witch side cannot argue back, the human side can proclaim its victory. Does that work? Let us be more specific. When the game ends, the witch side will be given a chance to argue back. Let's decide on an amount of time. 1 minute. If you cannot carry out your counter-argument within 1 minute, victory will be proclaimed. Then allow me to impose the same rule on you. At the time the game ends, the human side will be granted 1 minute to counter the mysteries has been given. If even a single mystery has not been countered within that time, it becomes the witch's victory and the game is over. It would be such a killjoy to have the game stop for lengthy consideration, right?
You asshole. Moving things along without me. But I more or less get what's going on. You know the lines I demand that you repeat aren't countered instantly. They've got to be countered eventually.
Yes, that's right. And that must happen before at least
1201.
0001 on
1201.
1201 on October 6th. But be careful. She only has to cut up one of the things you tell her to repeat. You can't proclaim your victory unless you solve all the puzzles.
Just as I can use the red. From now on, I will allow you to use the blue, Battler.
Your color?
Give me a second.
Chief is not good.
Swapping back and forth really takes a number on the throat, eh? Huh. Okay.
When explaining my magical murders with human tricks, you may state your claims in blue. I am responsible for countering your blue with the red by the end of the game.
Blue. So talking blue and I tell you to repeat things?
Not quite. When you told me to repeat lines, you were able to do it for any trivial thing. But the blue is a little more restrictive. Unless it by itself denies witches, it will not be valid.
It's starting to get confusing, but it's more or less something like this. For example, let's take one of the riddles in the past where I asked her to repeat something. The actual number of master keys is 5. That had been to confirm that there really were 5 master keys, when she claimed they were no more than 5. Since that by itself wouldn't deny witches, I can't say it in blue. So in order to speak in blue, I need to say something like this. The actual number of master keys was greater than 5. Culprit entered or exited the room with the extra key. Only then would the witch, who claimed that this was a closed room murder made with magic, be responsible for making a counter-argument. In other words, I can't deny that she repeats something that merely confirms the premise of my reasoning. That'll probably be a significant disadvantage for me. Crap. To make the red beard I used to toy with me until now look extremely merciful. Damn it. If I create a theory for a particular closed room and speak it in blue, if Beto denies at the very end, I won't even have the time to create my next theory. This rule's awful. Horribly bad for me.
Are you gonna surrender before the fight begins again? Calm down. No one said you could only use the blue once for each mystery. Do you know what that means?
No. What does it mean?
In the pitiful way you've been fighting up until now, you've made a single theory, glanced at the witch's complexion. And if that one didn't work, you'd then start making another theory. You won't corner a witch like that.
How should I fight? You don't mean...
Yeah, that's right. You don't attack her riddles with a point. You assault them with a wall. You said so yourself in an earlier game, that the force of your reasoning should be like that.
Assault. With a wall. That's right. I said so myself earlier. Guessing and trying to expose the mystery is like trying to shoot a distant target with an arrow. Until now I've just been shooting off one arrow after another. Asking the witch if I scored a hit. Preparing my bow once again, once I'm told that I've missed. There's no way I'll hit at that rate. Bullets might be a better example than arrows. If I take one shot after another at a distant target with a handgun, I probably won't hit it easily. So how can you hit it? If a handgun doesn't work, use a shotgun! Instead of a single bullet, beat her down with shot comprised of countless projectiles at once. Scott shatters so it impacts a wide area. Makes it optimal for shooting small, fast targets like birds. That's right. There's a rule that says I have to guess like a pistol, shooting one shot off at a time. Making a single theory and just hoping that it hits is no better than stopping with your own thinking. Blast her with a massive number of bullets, of guesses, and make them impact like a wall so that only one of them hitting the target is enough. Blue, huh? I get.
Are we doing truth bullets here? That's cool.
If your red truth is razor sharp katana, looks like my blue is a shotgun. No, a machine gun, whose firepower will turn the witch into a honeycomb.
I see, so it's an awkward gun that fires many shots. That sort of crude analogy is just like you.
The climax of a detective novel is always the same. Famous detective gathers all the suspects at once and displays a single trail of logic that works splendidly. Almost like William Tell spectacularly shooting through the apple with a single arrow. That's why I mistakenly took that to be a virtue. It probably would be splendid if I could shoot through the truth with a single guess. But that isn't realistic. Look at real wars. They really have everyone pull long guns out of the trench, aim really well, and then take shots at each other one at a time. They don't, right? They fire rapidly. They fire all over the place. They pin down the enemy with a barrage. Reasoning is the same way. Because of that weird virtue. I've been stuck thinking it's better to take one line of reasoning at a time. We humans can fire off countless guesses and possibilities. The bullet is the power of imagination. Suspension of thought is a clogged barrel. The pathetic way I've been reasoning up until now is like a pea shooter. I've been so lame. Weakly firing off shots, getting them denied and read, and then taking the next bullet and reloading. My blue truth, which claims that humans and tricks are what's real, will overpower its target. The illusion told by the witch, with its firepower and the force of what I can imagine. This is assure me a battler's fighting style. Thanks to you, I figured out my true fighting style. Thanks, Gretel.
You're welcome.
Thanks for thinking of how pathetic I was before.
You were.
It's like Pieto said. I've had a handicap up until now. I'll acknowledge that. New rule, understood. I have my own way of fighting. I'll show you it!
That willpower is good. I like it. Then try using it right away. This blue truth of yours.
Yeah, I'll use it. With this blue truth, I'll break apart your witch theory, which states that only a witch culprit was possible because everyone has alibis. This is my truth! Ushirimi Akinzo is already dead! Therefore, the true number of people on this island is 17! By adding an unknown person X to that, it becomes 18 people! By supposing that this person X exists, the crime is possible even if all 17 people have alibis! We can actually clarify really quickly. The reason why I have been able to tell you how Battler plays in the fighting game is because he uses the blue truth as a literal weapon in that.
Also,
Does he smack you with blue words?
Yes. No, like he shoots off like blue energy beams, basically.
Oh.
Yeah. Beam.
They don't come out like an actual shotgun type beams, do they?
No, they don't.
Like machine
Is there a
guns?
gift that
usually
you
don't fire beams.
Is there a gift that you can show?
Here.
Like
Machine gun.
Hold on. Give me a sec. Yeah, here we go. This is here's a really small image I can use to show you kind of how it works. There's no spoilers in there, I don't think, so we should...
We're on by Fight Club.
Alright, sure. Yeah.
Pardon me. And there goes my satellite signal as it rains outside.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
boy.
You gonna be okay though?
One sec.
Alright, cool, we're good. There, this is what the blue truth looks like. He literally fires a Kamehameha wave.
Oh man, Battler looks weird in that.
It's kind of like Dan's Hadoken.
He looks like a fake character.
His another projectile that he can shoot out is a little bird. It's like a long distance projectile.
Yo, he uses Twitter?
Well, it's because Battler's like leitmotif is called Tsubasa, which means wings in Japanese.
Pardon my dog, he's being an idiot.
He's a little wing boy. All right.
He's a wing-a-ding sort of
Am I
dragon.
doing that static thing again?
Yeah. It's not as crackly as the previous one.
It's more.
Oh, I think what it's connected to. My microphone itself has a little mute button on it that I can press.
Mhm.
1 sec.
I mean, I'm not sure if that would really matter because it happens while you're talking.
Okay.
That didn't. I don't know what you did, but it didn't
Try
solve
saying
it.
more things.
Yeah, try saying more thing.
Alright.
Okay, it's lighter now. Yeah, I think it's just a loose wire. Like, I think it'll just be on and off depending on if the wires make a connection.
Am I still heard?
You're good.
Oh yeah, I hear it. It's like now it's like a very minor hum that I can barely hear.
Yeah,
But
it's like
it'll
can't
probably
hear it.
go in between throughout the stream. I would recommend just getting a new mic, but we can figure that later.
Hmm. Sorry. Throat's starting to get a little raw. I'm still good though.
Okay.
In short, if you keep preventing us from meeting with Father, we will have to accept the following theory. Simply put, Father is already dead. But you're hiding that because you don't want the inheritance to be distributed.
Ridiculous.
That is correct. This is worse than ridiculous. I have never heard such an insult.
It'd even be possible for us to check by force whether he's alive or dead, with the police there to witness it. Isn't that right, Ava Nasan?
Yes. That's right, Nissan. There are all sorts of ways we could set you up. We could easily arrange for a situation where you'd have to hold a meeting with Father under the supervision of a third party.
Still, I think that would bring a lot of shame to the Ashira family. That's why I'm making this proposal. Here we have the responsibilities and duties of the caretaker. And a penalty in the worst-case scenario. If you consent to those terms, we'll be able to refrain from doing something like dragging Father outside.
Yeah, that's right, Anarchy. Didn't you just say it yourself? You're carrying out your natural duties as Dad's caretaker. Kyrie's condition shouldn't be anything to worry about, right?
Right.
Why this overreaction? Are you really that worried about having the position of successor dragged out from underneath you if Dad dies something other than a natural death?
Or else what? Do you have some reason to think Father might die something other than a natural death?
How could I? I see. Now I too understand how Father feels. How pitiful his later years have been for him, unable to even to die as he pleases.
Yes, his later years truly have been pitiful. And the thought that these later years are already something of the past is exactly what we're suspecting. You could completely clear the suspicion away just by letting us meet with Father. So, even after being humiliated by us this much, you still won't allow us to meet with him, Kraus-Nissan? Father is probably dead already. The corpse may have been disposed of in absolute secrecy. And after taking all of the wealth for yourself as Father's agent, you will make it seem that he disappeared until 7 years pass, making Father a corpseless member of the deceased. I'm sorry, but please don't take it badly, okay? I'm just playing detective here.
How rude can one be? Ugh, you have no right to stay in this mansion. Leave immediately. I won't permit you to cross the threshold of this house again.
It worked last year, but you used up your luck if you thought it worked this year too. Father is in such a bad mood, so he can't meet with us? That was plenty suspicious last year, and yet you're doing it again. If you really wanted to fake being Father's agent and grab up all his assets, you should have done it a little more speedily. Making him disappear without waiting for today's family conference. You really are naive, Krause-Onisama.
One-san?
Onisama.
I have no idea what you're...
However, if that's a fact that Father's in a bad mood, and you're preventing us from meeting him as part of your responsibilities as his caretaker, then it's a very wonderful thing you're doing. In that case, if you just accept our conditions, everything will be settled here and now. Simple as that. After all, you care so greatly for Father, Krause-san. There's no way Father will die in a manner that leads to trouble during the autopsy. After all, Father hates hospitals, so he'll pass away in his study, right? An autopsy will certainly be carried out no matter what happens. The only way to kill him without an autopsy would be for him to disappear.
Enough, Kyrie-san. I think you've bullied me, son. Enough.
Ava rebuked Kyrie in a sickeningly kind voice. Considering the situation, that was impossible, which is why it was sickening.
I'm sure Nissan has his own difficulties to worry about, as well as his pride. Not that he has much of one left. True, Nissan might consider that one of his natural duties. But if you force him to put out on paper and assign penalties, I could hardly blame him for getting upset. Don't you agree, Rosa?
Yes, that's right. She might have made light of Krause-Nissan's pride as the eldest son a little too much. I'd feel bad for him if we were to force him to sign a statement regarding the duties of the caretaker as Kyrie-san has laid them out.
That's right. You're doing a good job, Aniki. Taking that into account, we might consider avoiding all that about signing strange papers and worst-case penalties. And leave everything to you. You people.
Not just Ava, but Rudolph and Rosa as well, with unnerving smiles on their faces as though they'd planned this beforehand, began closing in on Krause. They now understood perfectly how Kyrie had cornered Krause, and exactly where she was prepared to compromise.
We were talking about a signed statement regarding the responsibilities of the caretaker. But even without
Oh, that's back.
Whoa!
Hold on.
It's like a Richter scale sound.
It sounds like it sounds. Just try jiggling the jack around in the hole.
Or a Geiger counter. Oh, I don't think it's the
Geiger
jack. I don't think it's
It sounds like a Geiger counter.
Just
I
try
don't
taking the jack off and then putting it jack in.
I mean, I think she.
I am currently being subjugated to high level
Guys,
radiation.
let me talk,
Okay, is
please.
it there now?
Let me talk, please.
No,
I don't think.
no.
Bad.
I
Is
don't
it there?
think. No, it's. I don't think it's the jack. I think it's the wire.
Hang on. God damn.
Try and say something again.
Like, try talking while just kind of waggling the wire.
I've been unplugging the damn thing back in.
No, I don't think it's the. I don't think it's the plug. I think it's the wire. I don't think plugging it in and out is gonna do anything. I think it's more of a jiggle the wire thing.
Crap. Okay, is it getting any better?
No.
No.
I think you might just need a new mic, Chief.
Ah,
That might just be a wire.
what the?
Oh, it's good now. It's
You're
good now.
You're back.
You're back.
Apparently, if I hold it in my hand, there's no issue.
Probably in the very specific position that you have it in. Like, have you ever had like a phone charger where you have had to have the wire in a very specific position to
Yes,
get the phone?
actually, I have.
I think it's a situation like that.
Oh,
Yeah, the wire's dying.
That actually does need to be replaced then. Like, basically no question.
is there anything right now?
But it's not
A
as
little.
bad.
Tiny buzz.
I would say let's continue. It'll probably happen again, but we'll power through for now.
Ugh.
We'll power through. We'll
Thing.
let you know if it gets really bad.
What is it? Son of a. Damn it! No!
I think it's good now.
I think it's been good. For a couple seconds.
I think she's saying no to the dog. Do you think we should call it whenever we get to the end of this chapter? What?
The wire in her mic came out.
Did it?
Wait.
Oh!
Oh no.
Well,
Look,
I can
just-
hear.
You might want to go to your phone in this case.
Wait, God, I can hear you. What the hell? What's going on? What?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, I heard.
what? Can you
I
hear?
can hear you. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I can hear you.
You actually sound fine.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
You sound a little
The
bit
sound
fine.
quality is degraded.
but I
will
think
say
that's
that, but not bad.
because she's at a distance. Maybe I don't know.
It's because
It's
it's a different
something.
microphone. It's because it's a
It's
different microphone.
my laptop?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
but your
your-
Yeah, you
laptop
have a
mic is
laptop
picking it
mic.
up.
Yeah,
Hold
your
on a
laptop has
second.
it.
What if it wasn't just the wire of my thing? It was also just my laptop picking up at the same time.
No,
that
is
don't-
not.
That would have
It
done
doesn't
a
do that.
different horrible effect.
That
is
would
one-
be a different effect.
It just took over because your other mic got disconnected.
Yeah, it just selected the nearest mic available. I
To
will
be
say
fair, I'm
this,
using a mic
so
swap.
weird.
I will say this mic will we can power through with this mic.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can solve your mic issues after this
Yeah.
session.
I will say, Con, you might want to wear headphones because it probably will echo.
Good thing I actually have a set. Unless that happens to break on me too.
Hey, dude, it's not your fault that it broke.
I blame Dell.
Low
Yeah.
quality microphones tend to break much easier.
Yeah.
I have lost many mics over my years because I went for the cheap one.
I will continue to post the $50 Razer microphone that I post to everybody who wants a cheap microphone.
Isn't it the same amount as like a blue snowball?
Yeah, but it's got a little bit of higher build quality, I think.
Does it? It's like
It's the job
I'm all I can recommend is the blue snowball. That's what I'm
Take
using.
a word from our happy customer.
This stream Umineko no Nakukuro ni has been brought to you by Razer.
Razer, sponsor our visual novel related content, please!
This stream is brought to you by the animal capybaras.
They're cute.
What happens if you pour antifreeze on snow?
Probably.
I thought you were gonna ask what happens if you pour antifreeze on a capybara.
Like,
Oh my
Wait,
god.
see, what happens there is I hunt you down and make sure you suffer for hurting a capybara.
I would
See
never.
what happens
That
when
is
I
the
put
real
see
answer,
what happens
yes.
when I put antifreeze on Roboot.
Did you hear about like that one place in South America? I forget where it is, but it's like there were like all these rich people that built houses on like this area where a bunch of capybaras were, and the rich people hate that the capybaras are there, but they aren't legally allowed to remove them.
Yay.
True.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I
You
can
sound
hear.
fine.
You
it's
sound.
fine.
We can power through with this, Mike.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's gonna get better. So
Oh, I mean, like, it literally can't. The thing just popped off. Like, that mic is dead.
The cord literally came out of the base.
Yeah.
What are you using, Con, again?
It was, Joe Nouveau, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, we can locate you like a new mic to use later.
Yeah, later. Let's head back to the visual novel.
We can help out with that.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, it's fine. We're fine.
Umineko will continue now.
Now.
I know, but I was also apologizing for the ear rape.
Oh, no.
I mean, it wasn't ear rape. It was
Trust
just
me. Yeah, it's not nearly that bad.
like it
More
was
like an ear groping.
Yeah, I would say it
Yeah,
wasn't.
we'll call it that. That's great.
No! I
Ew.
don't want
It's terrible! No, that's
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Here,
Okay.
Connect.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I'll say it wasn't ear rape. It was just a crackling sound. It's just you were being overtaken by a crackle.
Well, that's terrible playback.
Overtaken by a desperate crackle.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, you got good pipes. Let's continue with Kyrie.
Alright, back to it then. We were talking about a signed statement regarding the responsibilities of the caretaker. But even without signing such a thing, you can make it so that we'll never demand a meeting with Father again. If you can prove your fitness as Father's caretaker with a form of guarantee other than a signed statement, that is.
Are you telling me to pay security money?
Ooh, this works way better.
Hilarious!
The security money will be paid to Eva-san, Rudolph-san, and Rosa-san. 3 billion yen each. As a deposit, you will transfer 10% of that, 300 million yen, before the year is out.
9 billion?
9 billion yen.
I don't have that kind of money.
After
$90 million.
I already did the... yeah, I'm doing the thing right now with my pinky too.
I just take out 2 zeros.
Yeah. After Father passes away, you should be able to work it out. We've managed to investigate at least that far. You should be able to handle the deposit of 900 million yen in your current financial situation. And it should even be possible for you to borrow it from Father. Right? There's no need for obvious charades anymore.
How unpleasant. Truly unpleasant.
It is at that. Even just the discussion of Father's inheritance was far too disrespectful. Father is already dead. My husband is hiding that and keeping all the money for himself?
I have had enough of this. None of you are qualified to bear the name Ushinomiya any longer.
Calm down, Natsui-san. We've all said all we need to. Why don't we leave it at that for now? This is happening all of a sudden and on a massive scale. We might even be getting agitated ourselves. Why don't we take a break for a while and cool our heads? Perhaps Nissan probably needs a little time himself. Right, Krasny-san?
Time? And why would I need something like that?
Don't worry, don't worry. We aren't thinking of anything shady. We're just so eager to see Father that we've started grumbling a bit. Krasny-san, I know real well how you're dying to get back at us for the things we've said. If you're willing to go so far, then you just need to let us meet with him. Right? Isn't that right? You just got a bit stubborn. It felt awkward to say you'd let us see him after saying we couldn't all those times. Isn't that it? Right? Right.
It certainly does seem like my husband has lost his composure slightly, just like the rest of you have. We were only refusing stubbornly out of respect for Father's desires to not meet with everyone.
Indeed, that's right. It was turning into another sibling fight like the old days, and I started feeling stubborn as well. Let us cool our heads. I understand how much you all want to meet with Father. I will pass that on to him. I'll find some way to convince Father to meet with you. Will that do?
Sorry. Yeah. I think it'd be okay to give Krasny-san some time to persuade Father.
Yep. We're counting on you, Aniki. Please persuade him to meet with us. After all, your dad's caretaker.
As for persuading him, let's set a limit on it to sometime tonight, okay? When tomorrow comes, we'll confirm Father's well-being, even if we have to break down the door to his study. You have no problems with that, I take it? Nissan?
Do as you like. I see, it seems even the time I've been given to persuade him is short. Let us go, Natsuhe. We shall ask him to join us for dinner, at least.
Right.
Cross off the parlor with Natsuhi. Once their footsteps disappeared, Hideyoshi took a deep breath, smirking and flopping onto the sofa.
Kiryu-san, you're a frightening person.
Sorry for speaking out of turn. I apologize.
No, you didn't corner him like we'd originally planned, but in the end this was even better. Just like always, I've got to bow my head to you.
But can he really prepare 900 million? I believe we estimated that 750 million would be the most Cross Nikon could afford in this current financial situation. Isn't 900 million gouging him too much? If he can't do it, that's fine too. If we do something like lowering it to 750 million so Cross Nikon can save face, it'll look like we're compromising and it'll be easier to settle, right? And if he really does come out with 900 million, that's even better. Mason is probably having a strategy meeting with Natsui-san about it now. It really will be interesting to see what kind of twisted logic our proud Nissan comes up with as an excuse. Convince father?
Bless you.
Thank you. There is no way he can. There's no way to convince someone
Someone who isn't even there.
Why'd you just finish off her sentence?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought Kyrie was thinking that.
It could be either.
Oh, I thought it was.
The siblings have all come, despite their various circumstances, for this annual family conference.
Kraus and Natsuhi could be seen in Kinzo's dimly lit study. Every once in a while, thunder could be heard, and the dimly lit room flickered with a light. This island would be closed off by the storm very soon.
Also, that was a loud dog.
I hear
Bark.
everything.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
I don't
Sorry. Remus can be a
no,
bit of
it's
a
fine.
jerk whenever someone's on the other side of my bedroom door.
You're fine.
Understandable.
totally fine.
Guest star Remus.
Eh,
Little dog syndrome.
that's actually what it's
Crimson.
called.
That's pretty good, Crimson.
Okay. Father. Please, just this once, show those disrespectful people the majesty of the head.
It's useless.
That was right in my ear! And then I loved it. Creepy as fuck.
The large shadow of a person standing by the window, his majestic back facing them, answered quietly and forcefully. He hung his head and shook. Eventually they could hear a mumbling laugh over his shoulder. It's useless! It's all useless!
So now we know where he gets it from.
3 months left to live? An almost finished geezer? To whom exactly are you referring? You fools! Did you wander over here because your siblings threaten you? Know your shame! As Kinzo turned and brushed his cape, it flashed forcefully through this room's stale air. The air pressure truly signified Ashirimiya Kinzo's majesty and willpower itself. As we introduce Goldsmith! Kinzo's name as a mage is Goldsmith. His skills as a summoner are legendary for the modern age. From summoning ability, there are times where he surpasses even Beatrice. However, he is very mismatched, and while he does excel in some areas, he is fatally lacking as a mage in others. He cannot even perform the trifling magic to reheat a cup of tea. Yet he can summon demons capable of using magic to boil the oceans. His system of magic is his own, and its origins is in mathematical miracles. Beatrice later reworked her own magic system based on this.
Wait, so she learned from him?
If you want to take that, sure.
We shall find
So
out.
that's why he's the goldsmith magician.
Mm-hmm.
Have they mentioned that?
Well, no. Kinzo's name translated into if you look at the kanji for Kinzo, it's goldsmith.
Of course! Kin is the Japanese word for gold!
Wait, what is?
Kin!
Oh, Kin.
Remember?
Kin-sama.
Too! The character for Kin was also used as the character for gold!
I mean, I don't think that's been addressed to me, has it? Has it?
It has. They mentioned you can translate his name as goldsmith if you wanted to.
I feel like this is one of those things that's like, yeah, you kind of have to be Japanese to notice these parallels, unless you want to really...
They have literally said that Kinzo has asked them to call him goldsmith sometimes.
This was stated episode 1.
I know, but I feel like it would have been more noticeable if I could read his name as kanji, because that's like a pretty off-note thing that would be easy to forget if you don't read his name.
Don't they have like the kanji of their names and you gotta read them in the tips?
Boom! I wrote
and
it
also
down in the notes. The kanji for gold.
At any rate.
That's the kanji in his name.
But moving on.
The air pressure truly signified Ashirmiya Kinzo's majesty and willpower itself. After being blown back by that wind, it wasn't strange that Kraus landed on his butt. Though showing consideration for Kraus looked as though his legs had been swept out from under him, Natsuhi also crouched down. Then, with a thunk, thunk, Kinzo's footsteps approached with a heft that signified his dignity.
Father.
You fool! I heard from Canon. Just how far did you pathetically let your siblings lead you around by the nose?
God, his eyes.
Father. My husband is doing his best to protect your honor.
Without letting an ear to Natsuhi's words, Kinzo extended his palm to Kraus's collar as the latter sat on the floor. No. He curled his fingers, leaving only his pointer finger out, then took that finger and pressed hard into Kraus's collar, twisted it, and slowly, with just one finger, picked Kraus up into the air.
You really are a pathetic fool! You let your wife speak in your defense? You have an excuse. Give it yourself!
Women, right?
What?
That's stupid. I apologize for that joke. That was
Kraus clawed at the air. Kinzo's brawny finger was choking him. He couldn't even open his mouth, much less talk. However, even if he had been able to open his mouth, as he was now, there was no way he'd be able to think up an excuse that Kinzo would accept. Still, how could this power be described? No one would call Kinzo an old man after seeing this superhuman strength.
Father! My husband is fighting in his own way. Please, forgive him.
Natsuhi.
Thought that said Natsu shit.
Fighting is a process you go through before winning. The process you go through before losing isn't called fighting. That's called being pathetic. You call this my successor?
Man, the mic isn't even able to pick you up whenever you're doing it.
Sometimes, yeah, but at least
you're going too hard.
Censoring him.
Yeah, at least I hope the fucking goddamn. No, I think it's just Discord being a fuck. I think it's picking up on stream. I fucking hope so. God damn it.
Also, because that was sick.
Wait, Orange, do you have noise suppression on?
Yes, I do. I have to have it. Otherwise, you guys are gonna hear my click clacks.
Well,
Which the stream does hear. Stream hears my click clacks. If you listen, there's a good chance you'll know what I'm typing in the Fight Club. As thunder roared, Kinzo laughed heartily, as though nothing could be more pleasant. And when he finished laughing, he threw his son away like he was scrap paper, slamming him against the wall. Hit him into the wall.
To the wall.
Till the sweat drips down my balls.
Disgusting. Dear, are you okay?
Crestled on the wall, rubbing his throat as though in pain. Natsuki ran up to him and looked after him. Without showing any interest in the two of them, Kinzo returned to the space near the window, as though he had been there the whole time, and looked up at the thundercloud of misfortune.
I thought I would have no regrets in my life. If only I could meet Beatrice. But it seems it won't go so smoothly. It was promised from the beginning that nothing received from the witch would remain. However, he assured me a name is not the property of the witch. Who is it to succeed that name? And this alone must be resolved by my own hand. Rejoice, Kraus! I have changed my mind.
Father. So?
I have no desire to have dinner with you, cowards. However, I will attend the family conference afterwards.
Father, thank you very much.
There. I shall make a great announcement regarding the succession of the head. I will resolve your foolish quarrel myself.
This just got hella more interesting.
I won't leave with you fuckers, but I will bitch at you in the conference.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Crimson.
Very
I'm
good.
sometimes good at line writer, apparently.
You've got some moments. Everybody has some moments.
Oh, go.
Meanwhile, Battler, what the fuck?